Okay, we're still in the paddock here, and we do have a lovely selection of cars, as we've said, and we've got a couple of Bentleys up this end, pride of place. So we've got the chap that actually organised this paddock display today, Julian Grimwade, who is also the owner of this rather nice Bentley. Hi, Julian.
Well, I think it's nice anyway. Hello, Tim.
I think most people would probably say that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's all right. Although somebody said to me earlier, what would you, of all the cars that are here in this paddock today, what would you like to take home? It's gone now, but there was a lovely Fiat 500. And that was the one car I coveted. It was lovely. But
well, I quite fancy the DB5 up there, personally.
That's nice as well,
that is
yes.
lovely
yes
looking,
well,
that one.
They're all nice, aren't they?
And that Cadillac, we've just been talking to the owner over there. That's
wonderful.
beautiful.
I was expecting a slightly later one. I didn't read the date properly.
55 Eldorado.
And that was, interesting parking it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think we'll hold it on an airfield.
A bit like an articulated vehicle, that one. It's massive.
Absolutely
Well, I mean, yours is no shirker, is it?
No.
This is pretty big
it's
as
a big
well.
Old lump.
So let's find out a bit about this car then. So
right.
what have we got here?
It's a 4.5 litre Bentley, 1929. It has a body style which is called the bobtail because it has a spare wheel on the back, which is a departure for Bentley that they did in 28 to race at Le Mans.
Okay.
And the body of this was put on about 35 years ago as a recreation of that car. So it's a genuine Bentley, all matching numbers, running gear and everything, but the body isn't the original body.
Right, so it's a later...
Yeah, it would have been a saloon car.
What do you call it, really? Not a modification, is it?
Well, the bodies when they were put on, you'd buy a Bentley and you'd get up to here, you get the bulkhead and the bonnet and then no body.
And then the rest of it
and you'd
put on
send
yourself.
it off to your bodybuilder and then it would come back for Bentley to check. And they would put these massive saloon bodies on. And they had wooden frames, so they tended to fall apart. So by the time they got to the 50s and 60s, a lot of them were in poor condition and everybody wanted a green one like this one or that one. So they got changed to open Le Mans type cars.
Right, okay.
But now, interestingly, there's a premium on the original saloons. If you can find a saloon car,
yeah, because they're much rarer
really
now
rare,
because they all fell to bits. So
and they're great fun as well.
Then you're quite lucky, really, aren't you? I guess.
But this one's going back to Le Mans this year. We've got a race at Le Mans in July, beginning of July. It's 100 years of Le Mans this year and 100 years of Bentley being at Le Mans. So they asked us to put together a grid of races of cars that will happen before the Le Mans Classic starts, so lunchtime on the Saturday.
So you're going to be driving this round the track
in
a parade?
No, it's a race.
It is a race?
It's a race.
It's a proper race?
We've got 75 Bentleys entered.
Wow, that's going to be some sight.
It's going to be amazing. So 75 cars like this, all WO Bentleys, all pre-1930.
Yeah.
Le Mans start. So that's going to be interesting because the average age of drivers is...
I can say you have to get a bit fitter, I think, if you're going to do that.
Well, I think I can just about make it
run
across the track.
track.
Yeah, I think I can do that. But 75 cars going off at once is going to be interesting.
That's going to be something to see, I think, isn't it?
I did one 3 years ago.
I hope your brakes are quite good.
Yeah, well, I think the rule is generally you set off and you're not allowed to overtake till you get across the start-finish line.
Okay, right.
With 75 cars.
But if they're all trying to get out at the same time, it's going to be a bit...
And we're going to be gentlemen. We're not.
Are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come anywhere. This is a very standard car, and a lot of them are tweaked up a little bit.
You're doing it for fun.
I'm doing it for fun. It's something that will. Well, I said to my wife the other day, it's a once in a lifetime. I've got to do it.
Yeah.
And her answer was, that's the fourth once in a lifetime in as many years. So, but they are all different.
Yeah, so you've had a few of those then.
Yes, a few of those. But this will be the last one. I think I'll race the Bentley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. The difference between this and the race cars is if I break the race car, I'm annoyed. If I break this, I'm upset.
Yeah.
Because this is, I will keep this forever.
It is a beautiful car, isn't it? You've obviously had it for quite some time.
Yes, I've had it 19 years now.
19 years.
It was my first pre-war car. I'd never driven a Bentley.
Yeah.
I'd never driven anything pre-war. And I bought it, and I got it looked at and checked, and then I went and picked it up and drove it. And kind of taught myself how to drive it, and it's just got better and better.
Yeah, because driving these cars is an art in itself.
It is.
Really.
I mean,
so it's a little bit difficult than getting in your modern
automatic
or something, put your foot down and away you go. But it's not in this.
It is difficult, and I now spend one day a year. We have a training course down at Goodwood where we teach wives and sons and daughters of owners to drive Bentleys, and the owner isn't allowed anywhere near it. They have to go away.
Okay.
So you end up with someone's wife in their car and you teach them to drive. And generally, actually, the women are better than the men because they listen.
Yeah.
They're much easier to teach.
So they pay a bit more
If
attention.
they listen to what you're doing, whereas the young lads seem to know they're doing everything, but they can't.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that's great fun, and teaching people to drive Bentleys is great. Really good fun.
Beautiful. I mean, it looks politely a well-used car.
It does, yes.
You know,
When I bought it, it was fairly shiny and new, but
Yeah.
it's got worn and there's marks on it, and the body's great. But this is how they looked, you know. I
Yeah,
quite
with
like
nice
this.
patina
It's a
on the
patina.
leatherwork there, and
It needs.
mud up on the mud guards, which
Yeah,
is right.
I
you
don't
know.
always clean it. It's a used car, but
Yeah, you see some of these are so shiny and clean, and I think, well, they never use these, do they? But
Nah.
this one
this goes
is
out.
clearly a used vehicle.
Well, I try and drive it
Enjoyed.
once a week because they don't like it if you don't use them. If you leave them
No.
in the garage, things will go wrong.
Yeah.
But if you drive it every week, it keeps it all
You're
working.
okay.
And
They don't
yeah.
like to sit, do they?
No.
At all. Ah,
But they're an immensely reliable car. Everything is doubled up. You've got two magnetos, two sets of spark plugs. You've got a manual system for pumping petrol through if the petrol pump bangs up. You know, you could take the battery out of this car and get home. It would still work.
yeah. That's amazing, really.
And it's always got me home. It's never let me down.
No. Well, particularly not from here, because home's not too
Well,
far
not
away.
from here. No. You could push it probably. No, maybe not.
No, well, it's a good display here today, Julian.
It's
I
very
have to
good.
say.
I'm
We've
delighted
been
with the
looking out at
response of
these
the members.
cars.
They've done
And
really
these are
well.
all members'
These are all
cars.
members' cars
Yeah.
in here, in this part, yeah. And the response is good. We put out fairly late on. We put out a request if anybody wanted to come in.
Yeah.
Lots of people responded, and now we've got a wonderful thing over there fired up.
That's making a bit of a noise in the
Yes,
background
that's
there.
two engines screwed together, front to end. So it's
Yeah.
a straight 8 in effect. Terrifying thing,
It does look a bit terrifying, I have to say. There we are.
but it's fine.
Right, well, thank you for showing us around your
Well,
car
thank
today,
you.
Julian.
I mean, it's been a
and
splendid
thanks for
day
the
at
display
Brooklands,
today.
as always. The weather's been kind to us. The people are great. The crowd is good. And there's just what an eclectic mix of cars here.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing with these general classic gatherings. You get such a mix of
I know.
vehicles here, don't you?
And you walk around and look at the thing, oh, I like that, like that. But you can't have it all.
No, exactly.
You need a bigger garage.
Definitely if you've got the Eldorado.
Oh, yes. I'm not sure that would fit in my garage.
And you've got a big garage.
I've got a big garage.
Yeah.
I was lent
Not
a
sure about
Rolls
that.
Royce Phantom 2 to work on once, and it had 2 spare wheels on the back. And to get it into my barn where I parked it, I had to take one of the wheels off because it was too long otherwise.
Oh dear.
It was about 19
Amazing,
foot
isn't it?
long. Yeah.
Well, we're going to have a good look round at the rest of the
Will
cars
do.
today. So, lovely.
you,
Thank
choice.
you for showing us your Bentley today.
You're welcome. Good to see you both. Take care.